I'd like to call to order. Thank you. The regular meeting of the City of Ojai Arts Commission. I forgot my glasses, but I know roll calls first.
Yes, roll call. Commissioner Wright?
Present?
Here.
Wright, I'm sorry. Commissioner Wright, present. Vice Chair Steiner?
Commissioner West?
Here.
And Chairperson West.
Say here.
Here.
Thank you. We also, Commissioner Grau and Commissioner Leeds are absent. We do have a quorum and may proceed.
Great. Thank you. Pledge of Allegiance. I have Alzheimer's too. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
One day.
The visible part I forgot. Oy, 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 oy. Do we have any general public comments not pertaining to items on the agenda?
We have
City
no
liaison.
We have no public comments in chambers. I'm checking online to see if we have any raised hands. Just one moment so we can see if there's anyone loading in at just the last moment here. Okay, we have no one processing at this time. We may proceed. No public comment.
Thank you. We're pleased to have a presentation tonight from the Ojai Playwrights Conference. And here to introduce our presenter is Thalia Boutron Helene.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here in front of this wonderful, wonderful committee. My name is Thalia Boutron Helene, as Smitty said, and I'm the Development Director for the Ojai Playwrights Conference. We are just celebrating our 28th year. 28 years ago, at a kitchen table here in the Valley, some really creative artists got together, and that's where the Ojai Playwrights Conference was born. Through many location changes and changes in leadership, we are still here anchored in this valley 28 years later. And celebrating his third year with the conference we're so honored to have him. He's one of the greatest leaders of the world's largest development program in the world, and we brought him to Ojai for OPC, and it is producing artistic director Jeremy Cohen.
Welcome, Jeremy.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. I am Jeremy Cohen, and I am the producing artistic director of Ojai Playwrights Conference. It's wonderful to be here with all of you and all of you at home. Thank you for giving us a moment. As Thalia was saying, OPC has been around for 28 years. This is our 28th year, the entire time right here in Ojai. I have to say, just for some context, there are a handful of new play development centers around the country, but probably only about 4 or 5 at this point. And so to have the conference and festival based here in Ojai is really extraordinary. And I think it gives us an opportunity to really think about how we are part of the community here in Ojai, as well as bringing in national artists here. So how does the work that happens here go out into the world, and also how does it stay here in the community, especially our work in education and mentorship. So it's been a really exciting balance, an exciting first few years as I've been doing it. We, first of all, as we were talking about earlier, we are having our annual fundraiser here in Ojai. We are partnering with the Ojai Playhouse. The amazing David Berger has done a beautiful job renovating that space, and we are going to be hosting a sort of folk rock concert as our fundraiser, including Emily Saliers from the Indigo Girls, Jonathan Brooke from The Story, and hosted by the amazing Tig Notaro. And then finding out about many more guest stars and a few other special surprises that are happening throughout the evening as well, including with 24 specific Ojai amazing young artists. And it's really special for us to have that piece part of the night, not only because these artists are incredible and they're going to get to kind of hang out with these amazing rock stars, but also because that piece of education and mentorship about what role we're playing here in the community, in the Valley, in Ventura County, actually, to kind of, we're here in Ojai, but we're also doing some work around Ventura County, is really important to us. And so it sort of made an enormous amount of sense to have this really special group, which I'm gonna let be a surprise for a moment, but I'll just say that we love the Ojai Pixies a lot. And they've been practicing very hard in case an opportunity were to arise. And the Indigo Girls are very excited to spend time with them. And that's, I think, actually the magic of Ojai. I've been thinking a lot back at this conversation that we were having a month or so ago. We sort of did a community open house, and it was really just our way of kind of spending time together and inviting people to come in and get to know us better and learn how they can engage and participate. And one of the things I think I was saying that day is I've been thinking a lot about this idea, and Thalia and I talk about it all the time, about sort of what is this idea of home? Smitty just hugged me as I came in the door and said, "Welcome home. This is where you belong." And that means the world to me for any number of reasons, not least of which is because my family and I live in Los Angeles, and we live in Altadena, where we moved 10 months ago. And so we've been displaced for, since January 7th. And so I'm really thinking a lot about these opportunities, and we're doing a lot of work, community work in Altadena, and now kind of thinking about how that work transfers here as well, about what is our global community, even within a hyper-local community? What are the opportunities, especially for younger folks, to engage in these bigger conversations about what's happening in our world right now? Because it's a moment to be a young person in the world. I have a young person in the world right now, and we have deep conversations about what role he wants to play, and also what is the opportunity in front of him to step forward and be part of a community, to be a real citizen. And that's what I think OPC has in front of it right now here in town, through storytelling. We have so many writers that we focus on throughout the year that are here. We've also, traditionally, the conference for the first 25 years or so was only in the summer. It's a 2-week conference that happens in the summer. And at the end of the conference, we open it up to the public and have a big new play festival. So all these brand new plays that have never been heard before anywhere in the world get read in front of an audience right here in Ojai. We have one play right now that another company in Ventura County is thinking about producing, and we have another play that was in that season that is currently running on Broadway and nominated for Tony Awards. So it's it allows us to be really flexible, and to have even, I would say, there was a bunch of, that whole cast is young people in that play that's on Broadway right now, called John Proctor is the Villain, a kind of retelling of The Crucible with all young women, all teenage girls. And it's funny and moving, and it was all students here in Ojai who did the original workshop here. And so they all just made a field trip out to Broadway and then went and hung out with everyone there. So I think we're really trying to hold that balance of how can the impact that's bigger live here in town. One of the things I would just share also with folks in terms of how do you get involved? How do you know about these things? Certainly go to ojaiplaywrights.org, which is our website, and learn about it. There's a whole section about how to get involved, if you want to take classes, if you want to come to the performances. One of the most critical things that we've been working on since I started was that we really center all of our work now around kind of this principle of equitable access. And that for us means we want to remove barriers from anyone in participating at OPC. So if that's an artist, if that's a student, if that's a community member, all of the tickets, the single tickets for our festival in the summer are pay what you can. Last summer in 2024, I think it's 465 people opted in to pay what they can. Some of them were full price, some of them were $0. And what I will say is that the conversations that we had after the plays and in the sort of courtyard afterwards, I would say to people, hi, welcome, and I'm me, so I like to talk to people and find out, is this your first time? We always ask, is this your first time coming? The amount of people that said, I came because it used to be really expensive. It was too expensive for me. It was cost prohibitive. And now I know I can just come, and there's a seat always waiting for me. And there is always a seat waiting. And that feels like, okay, now we're definitely doing the right thing. How do we take this brilliant artistry from Ojai-based artists and Southern California-based artists and share it right here in this community? So it's a super exciting prospect of what we're doing. And so yeah, we're going to raise some money tomorrow, and it's all going to ensure that we can keep, we have scholarships and financial aid for all of our student programs, if there's anyone, so around Ventura County in particular. And we're really doing work not just in the summer now, but also in the fall and the spring here in town. So we're just excited to kind of share that expansion out with folks and to be really part of the Ojai part of Ojai Playwrights Conference.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
And
Thank
I
you.
would never correct my boss, but it's ojaiplays.org.
Oh, what did I? Yes, thank you. Thank you. It is that. That is the name of the website.
Say it again.
Ojaiplays.org.
Please. Oh.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Karina or Christine, you want to have any questions or comments for
Well,
these
I just
people?
want to say thank you so much. And in a way, it's hard to believe it's been.
Microphone, please.
Pardon. Thank you. Let me start again with my enthusiasm. Thank you. In a way, it's hard to believe it's been only 28 years because it feels like you have always been here. And certainly 28 years is a long time. But the calendar for Ojai with the music festival, with the playwrights conference, it's really about the arts in Ojai, and it's a contribution that you make in such a way out in the world. But I'm learning more about your mentorship and education program, the sort of bringing it into Ojai, which we really deeply appreciate. It's how we nurture our existing and our young, our existing community, our young people. And in terms of your equitable access, I noticed in your description of your upcoming fundraiser that you set aside certain free tickets, and it was quite a number of those, and I'm sure they just flew out the door, but that was really very kind of you, and it shows that commitment you described. So thank you, thank you.
Thanks, Christine. Yeah, I think we have there's also, in the morning, there is a screening of the Indigo Girls documentary film, It's Only Life After All. And it was really important to us and to David Berger also that we make those tickets available for anyone that wanted to come. And every time we keep adding tickets, they're just gone. And then same thing with the evening concert. Yeah, there's a number of, really all of the work we wanted to do. And I have to throw this back to Thalia and give her all the credit for it, which is how can we use this event? Sure, it's a fundraiser, but it's also a community builder. And I think that's something that we talk about a lot in our work, so that it's not just about like, please give us money and support us. It's also like, right, but what are we doing in the community? How is this a door opening back? So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, ditto to what Christine said, and thank you. I mean, this is incredible. I'm just sitting here just in awe of this generosity that you put forth in your time and creativity and just doing this. I know it's not a money-making prophecy, and funds are tough, so I know it's coming from your heart. And one of the first things I learned about when I moved to Ojai was this particular organization, because from another colleague of ours, and just that it's international. It's it's bringing out, and you're like, oh, we have something like that right here in this town, and I don't think enough people know this. And certainly, I want to make sure the city knows it, that you're getting the support that you should be getting for bringing such a large group of people here and such a elevated group of talent. So thank you for that, and we're going to keep pushing to support your programs, of course.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we've been talking so much about the opportunity here being, yes, the Ojai Music Festival, our great partners at the Ojai, like one of the first month I was here, I was like, hey, are we friends? Can we be friends? And then kind of has really done that the last couple of years, just to say, like, with the Film Society and with all, you know, the screenings and everything. And so I think we're really looking at the ways that we can do that more. This place has been for so long an artistic and creative hub. The energy is stunning here, and it's rare. And so how can that be the creative capital? How can we be driving people in, not just to come to only the beauty of Ojai, the natural beauty of Ojai, but to really center the artists that are here in this community and the art making that's happening?
Centering is what I wanted. Thank you both. You're going to get a little Smitty speech here.
I love a good Smitty speech.
Well, I talked to the mayor last week, and we both see eye to eye, as do many leaders here in the community, and that the timing, the time and the place, right? We think now's the time and now's the place. The lake is full, there's a budget surplus, we have a working arts commission here. This may be the time and the place where government can do more to help the arts. And so stay tuned to this channel for, you know, even more, because I think what you say about barriers is a nice way to look at it. We don't have to go out and do a bunch of stuff. There's just such beautiful people that are already here and come here in the arts community. We just need to create that space and create that time and that place where they can get together and connect them. By providing, and especially with an eye to the future with the youth, the way you spoke to as well. So you're right in lockstep with the Arts Commission and our 5-year plan to provide the respect and investment in the artist as a reputable and a good job. You know, make the job of an artist better here in the community. We say we're in our town, but what can government do to try to make these jobs better? We remove the barriers that artists feel when they're here, because they're drawn here by their art. You know, let's make them happy, let's connect them. We just need to make a little time and a place and some food and drink and maybe a little music, you know, and magic can happen. So support the artists, because these artists want to be mentors. You know, the ones that come here to Ojai want to be mentors. So if we're supporting them and making their job better, and as you are with scholarship, providing money, let's just call it what it is, because a good education costs money. And if we can't, and volunteers will exhaust themselves. So if we have the respect for the artists, the investment in the scholarship, which ends up flowing to the artists anyways and the teachers anyways, then we remove those barriers. And you guys are just doing a beautiful job. Looking forward to this weekend. I hear there's only less than a handful of tickets left at ojaiplays.org.
That's right. And for those of you listening, with the code 93023, you can get a nice discount. There's only a few tickets left, though. You really should grab them if you're interested.
Millions of people watching this broadcast, they'll be gone. So thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you so much for having us. It's great to see you all.
This is our best part of our job.
Great night. Yeah, for sure. Have a great night. Thank you.
All right. Our consent item tonight. First, do we check on public comments on the consent item?
We have no public comments for item 5.
Okay, item 5. What about 4? Oh, I'm sorry, item 5. All right. I'm looking for a motion or amendments to the minutes.
Well, I think you first want to, I would move that we adopt the minutes of the September 19, 2024 regular meeting of the Arts Commission.
I'll second it. Thank you.
Any comments, any questions, any corrections?
I need reading glasses.
Okay, I don't have any to give you. Hearing no corrections, I think it can just be all in favor.
It would be roll call.
Yeah.
We're just checking, Karina.
Yeah.
Good? Yes.
Aye.
We moved, Deb.
Yes. Roll call. Commissioner Wright?
Yes.
Chair West?
Yes.
Vice Chair Steiner?
Yes.
Okay. Motion passes. 3 in favor, 2 absent.
You want me to
Motion
take over?
passes. Yes, I'm sure it's Trimkin Arch, right?
No,
Okay,
no.
item
No, it's
B, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm
6A,
sorry.
the election.
Oh, yes. Let me think how I want to do this. I think I want to introduce the liaison first.
We can introduce the, we can do that. You may notice that seated next to me, we do have one additional staff person. With me, we have Bridget Mara, who is an administrative analyst within the city manager's office. Some of you may know I will be moving out of the area after a series of unfortunate events. But with that, we very luckily have a very valued member of our city manager team, Bridget Mara, who will be stepping in as the staff liaison to the Arts Commission. Bridget, would you like to say anything? Bridget also has supported the city with many critical projects, including Ojai Tent Town, short-term rentals, also business licensing and cannabis.
All the
Lots of
easy
things.
stuff.
It's all the easy stuff, right? I juggle a lot of things here, including city manager's calendar, so, and the front desk. So, but, yeah, I'm super excited to be a part of this and look forward to it. I'm grateful for the opportunity as well.
Welcome, Bridget.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. You will enjoy this commission. We do great and fun things.
I know, I'm
As
excited.
you just heard.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
excited. Yeah, I heard.
Secretary?
Oh, I thought, were you going to give us may I recognize you to give us an overview of the secretary thing?
I'd be happy to provide the administrative report
Mr.
for item 6A. For item 6A, we have the election of the Arts Commission Secretary. With this, the background, with the introduction of the new commission handbook earlier this year, there was the introduction of the role of secretary. With this new addition, the role is presently unfilled, and it states in line 1 of the officer section that selections must be made for all 3 roles. Description of this process is found on page 7 of the new commission handbook. And so with that, we were hoping, our recommendation is to select a secretary to serve until the next officer election. We will be checking with the city clerk to identify when we need to hold the next elections. But recommendation is to select a secretary until that time.
Okay, so just the understanding is that the secretary we choose tonight will serve until we do the elections for all the officers in the probably
Right.
next fiscal year.
Right.
So,
Correct.
with that, do we have any?
I would like to, yes, I would like to nominate Karina Wright, especially in light of the extraordinary job on the grants program and Karina's regular meticulous attention to all detail. I think she would be an outstanding secretary if she would
I was second.
deign to accept.
I will second that.
Just say thank you.
Thank you. I will.
I think we have to vote.
Oh,
We'll see how it
okay.
goes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you for the
okay.
nomination, Christine and Smitty.
Wow. Let's see how lucky we are.
Okay, roll call. Chair West,
Yes.
Vice Chair Steiner,
I mean, yes, of course, it was my motion, but my question is.
Microphone, please.
Roll call on everything instead of simply.
just the vote. Excuse me.
Yeah, let's try to make it faster by just having ayes or
We
nays.
also may do that. It is at the discretion of the chair.
Okay, so, Mr. Chair, let's just make it.
All
that
in
we don't
favor?
Need to, aye.
Aye.
We have a quorum?
Great,
We
thank you.
have 3 in favor, 2 absent. Motion passes.
Yes.
Okay, now it's the.
Thank you.
I think I'm
You'd
on.
be Secretary of State if I could.
Right?
If I could give you that one. I can't. All right, we're going to move on. Do we
Secretary
have
is
any
not
public
a tie.
comments on item 7?
No, we're on,
No,
we're
no.
on 6B, the
6B.
Trimp-In Arch.
All right, sorry. 6B. We already said no.
We have no public comments at this time.
The floor recognizes Commissioner Steiner for a
Thank you.
report.
Thank you. So, as you know, last year we undertook a comprehensive conservation assessment of all the public art within the city. In the course of that, it was determined that some works were in okay condition. Some works were in deplorable condition, and most works needed some degree of attention. We look forward to sharing that entire comprehensive review when we have our joint meeting with the City Council. And so, Councilmember Rule, we look forward to that. We are hopeful it can be soon, in part so that we can share the assessment and the public has a clear understanding. But short of that overview, what we have done, because there is some money in the budget, we had $6,550. We proceeded to go ahead step by step. And as we know from our own houses, deferred maintenance is always more expensive. And so we started with the Trimpin Arch, in part because it is at the entry of Libby Bowl, one of our most prominent public art works. It's also relatively manageable with a budget as low as $6,500. So we have before us a conservation assessment agreement, essentially, that will become an agreement going through the city's process. It's a proposal to treat the Trimpin Arch. The conservators are available to us, which is actually in a way extraordinary because they're quite busy dealing with the aftermath of the Los Angeles fires. But because they had been in earlier and feel a commitment to our town, and they're able to do this work within a relatively reasonable time frame, which will be after the music festival, obviously, which is coming up pretty quickly, but likely sometime toward the end of June, beginning of July. One point I want to make, and sorry to belabor this, but one point I want to make is that best practice provides that the artist, if living, is first offered the opportunity to provide the conservation at a reasonable cost. I had a phone conversation back in April with Trimpin. We had a lovely conversation. I shared with him the conservation report, the experience and credentials of our selected conservator, and he said, please go ahead. He was not interested in doing it and looked forward to having us get it back in tip-top shape. And then finally, I'll note that this will address the physical work itself. Oh, pardon me. We are not addressing the computer sound right on time, the sound aspects of the Trimpin Arch. We are addressing the physical components. So with that, and the staff report is quite detailed. With that, we have to vote to authorize the $6,500 to provide the conservation treatment for the Trimpin Sound Arch.
Okay, let's have a motion, and then I have some.
May I make the motion?
Yes,
I move that we authorize $6,500 to, and the name of the entity, I am sorry, to Cura Art, specifically to LA Arts Labs LLC, to perform the maintenance on the Trimpin Sound Arch. Pardon me, rather than maintenance, the conservation treatment on the Trimpin Sound Arch.
You guys think you got that? Second?
Looking for the second.
You got that gobbledygook?
Commissioner Karina seconded, I think I heard right there too.
Okay.
All right, let's have some discussion. Did we have some pictures?
I do have a PowerPoint prepared for this.
Oh,
One
great.
moment, please.
Everyone can see the sound arch.
If you wouldn't mind,
What would you like?
tell me what we're looking at.
Oh, sure, sure. I'd be pleased to.
When did they, may I ask, when did they do the assessment of it? Was that in the winter? Spring?
So it was in last year's cycle. I don't recall
I just happened to
precisely.
be at the bowl yesterday, and I couldn't see it because there were like branches from the bowl anyways, and I was wondering if the leaves were off the trees. Those are valley oaks there at the time, and I don't know.
Well,
if
I'm not sure you're in the right place. So the sound arch is just as you enter
I know
before
where it
you
is,
come
but
to the lawn.
But it used to be, there's branches sort of, I just
Oh.
noticed, I just,
Okay.
I had to throw that in for,
So message to Public Works, be sure to trim those branches so that the sculpture itself is not impacted by foliage.
We do have the presentation prepared for broadcast.
go ahead.
Okay, so this, shall I just walk us through it?
If
So
you'd like.
so this is the plaque at the sculpture itself. It's copyrighted in the name of the artist, of course. It's in the collection of the city of Ojai. It's 2011. There it is, looking great. I see what Smitty is saying, but the
was-
leaves are not
I was
impacting.
looking up this way.
okay.
And I actually
Okay.
could just see the base of it,
Right.
but I think
Well,
but yes.
We have an
You-
additional
you-
angle for that.
You
too.
can see some of the conservation that's necessary. You see how there's, well, we'll see some pitting, but you see some bleeding down onto the base of the work itself. But it still is quite a beautiful piece.
I think there's a picture of the,
Okay, there are some examples of what the conservators will treat. That's great, great that we have those. More photos. Yeah, I mean, one of the beauties of Libby Bowl is that it's used regularly, and so, of course, a sculpture under which everyone must process in order to enter is going to have some wear and tear, which we shall address. That's great. Thank you for that, James.
Of course.
and when I went by, when these pictures were taken, the audio was working. There was someone with a
Great.
phone,
That's
so
great.
I was pleased that
Great
that was
to
the
hear.
case. Was there a, please, Karina?
If I may, thank you,
Yeah.
Chair West. Do we have a commitment from the city to uphold this maintenance advice to protect the conservation investment that we're going to make? Or
Well,
how,
I mean,
how is,
It's
does
a
that
good,
work?
it's a good question. What we did with the maintenance assessment is finally, and for the first time, get a handle on what things currently look like. And we're going to simply cycle through all of the treatment. The question you ask, though, is what happens for works we treat going forward? And I think the answer is that this commission just stays on it. So I know that in meetings Smitty had with James, remind me the former manager's name, James.
That would be James Vega, I believe.
James Vega, thank you. James said, just when we said the public art is in deplorable condition, he said, tell us what we need, tell us what we have to do, because it is a city obligation under the statute, and we will do it. And so that's what we're seeing with the payment for the initial assessment. That's what we're seeing with this $65.50. We hope it's going to increase because we know, and again, when we roll out, as it were, the entire assessment, we'll see that there are some works that need immediate attention. One example is Big Red Roller, which is going to need a lot more than $65.50. So we'll have to address that in the budget. But the answer is we will stay on it. Now that we've got it going, we will keep it going.
Yes, that's a responsibility, and
the cities.
Arguably, this is a couple things. It's one of our arguably our most important artists and our most valuable piece of public art. But something else that's important about this one is people walk underneath it. So when we're talking about public safety as well, certainly things like the Big Red Roller or the Big granite monoliths or something that could actually cause some damage and end up costing on the insurance side too. So this is not only it's a great piece to start with because it's prominent, it's an important piece, and people walk under it. You know, so you don't need the cement going down on that. I don't know if there was some discussion as to whether the work could actually take place this fiscal year or not. So, do you have anything to say on that, liaison?
From my understanding, if we authorize the funds and enter into the agreement before the end of the fiscal year, that should be acceptable,
Okay.
as opposed to requiring the work to be completed in the same timeline.
Okay, good. That's good.
That's reassuring, especially because, as I mentioned earlier, the conservators are so busy catching up from the Los Angeles fires, and again, we're lucky to have them. Okay, well, we're
Right, so
just in time to
call for a vote.
vote for this in this fiscal year.
And what, may
Yes, please.
I,
Suggestions.
and isn't this work scheduled just for 2 days worth of work?
Yeah,
So
that
should be able to find 2 quiet days around the Libby Bowl to get this done soon.
Well, they themselves are doing the work
Yeah,
or
yeah.
supervising it,
But
so it's their
coordinate.
schedule.
We should
Well,
be able
they're
to
doing it.
coordinate it.
Well, James or I guess Bridget will have to coordinate with Public Works because there's going to be some access issues. They're going to need ladders. So they're going to, as a minimum, need cones. They're going to, they won't need security. They won't need maintenance on all of the time, but they'll need someone there to sort of know that we're not calling the police on them. But coning the area will be essential, especially because some of the materials they're going to need to use will be corrosive, so we want to make sure it's protected. And again, it will be after the music festival, and also it won't interfere with the Libby Bowl calendar. So we'll leave those pieces in your hands.
I can't speak for for getting permission, but we can request that we provide staff to assist with that.
Great,
We'll take that to the city manager at the commission's request.
Great. And we know the city manager will be pleased to do that. Great.
Can I just call for a vote? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
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 We have 3 in favor, 2 absent. Motion passes.
All right, a big step. I've been on the
Great.
commission 5 years now, and there has not been any maintenance done on our public art.
We are working, I mean, step by
getting
step,
started.
but we are doing it, and we're doing it with best practices and with consistency, and that's what it takes.
Right, and we're, in process, which is good, so I look forward to whatever
And you
we
guys will
fix
keep us
next.
informed of the date when they're gonna be able to do it. That way we can
Oh,
coordinate.
yeah.
You
Right.
all have my email address, right? So,
I'll make sure you get all of that information, yeah.
thanks.
Commissioner updates. Christine, do you have anything else?
Me again. I guess the only thing I have is again, council member rule to urge us to have a joint meeting so we can discuss the conservation assessment. And then the next piece of that, I would say, is Big Red Roller, I think, has to be our next piece to tackle. And short of that, I've got nothing else on the public art front.
Thank you. Commissioner Grau's not here tonight. She did send a report, but I'll just sort of mention that our mentor program is underway. We're searching for some partners on that, and there will be another arts education event this summer as well. Commissioner Wright, do you have an update?
I have a,
Grants? Yes.
thank you. I have a brief update. I have contacted 15 of the 17 2024 grantees to follow up on their grant summarization report. And I have 2 email addresses that I have 2 people whose email addresses I don't have, and I'm not sure who I should ask about. Is that to Bridget now? Okay.
I'll assist with some of the handoff over the next month, and but we can, if
Okay.
you identify who, we can try to get
Okay.
you that contact information.
I know when we looked at this originally, so many of those email addresses were redacted. So we'll see.
Could you give us either give a summary, or I can give a summary of what we're talking about just for the minutes here? This is
this one of the requirements of receiving a art grant is you have to complete the grant summary report at the end of your project to notify the city how you use the money and how the project went.
And this is the 2024 recipients, were the recipients that City Council voted to share. So there's more of them, and they're required to do this fiscal responsible.
Right. This was discussed at the last meeting. This is usually done closer to the end of the year, but we have extended the deadline to June 1st for them to get their paperwork in. A few have. And with that summarization, there's also an invitation to come before this commission and give a brief presentation on their experience with their project. And I have a couple of people who would like to present, and I'm hoping we can designate our June meeting for an open invitation to the 24 grantees to come and give a presentation, if that is okay.
That makes sense.
Put it
June
on a future agenda. Then.
June 19th,
Yeah.
it would be. So, and that's John Lambert from the Ojai Valley Library.
2024. Anyone who wants to come from 2024.
2024, because they have spent their money. Mm-hmm. And somebody.
The audit has to show, if I can interrupt, the audit has to show that they spent the money in 2024. Is that correct?
I will have to double check that.
Okay.
That is not my understanding. The way that the money is sent out, it keeps shifting. So maybe they, but yeah, they will have spent it by the end of 2024 for sure. The last meeting we talked about getting this summarization on the website, and it's not.
The summarization of the grants, previous grants?
The form, so they could fill it out, an interactive PDF on the website that they could actually just fill out there.
We can inquire if we're going to develop the forms as an interactive form that could be fillable. If we're allocating staff time, we would need to see if we can allocate staff time to do these updates.
Right.
But that is something that can be done.
It's not necessary, but
We'll address that sort of thing with our technology.
Considering how hard it is to get them to fill these out, maybe that would be a way to get them to fill it out easier. And also, just as a point of record, the 2024 grantees need to be listed on the website. That has not been updated.
We definitely can look into that. Thank you.
You have the list, obviously.
Is that correct? Yeah, is that your report? Thank you.
This list, right? It's in this format.
Yes, I should have that.
Through 2023, and then we just continue on with 2024. So that is it.
Okay.
And maybe a future agenda item, if I can mention now.
We'll come back to that.
Come back to it, yeah.
Okay.
If it's on here, yeah, it's after. It'll be in about 30 seconds.
Okay.
Commissioner Leeds sends his best. I talked to him today. I did want to report that this is our, the 2025-6 will be our strategic planning year. Every one thing that we do, and I'm proud of our commission that does it, is our 5-year plan and updated every 2 years. And so we'll make sure that we do that this year. It will be, because we have a Gantt chart, and I've been keeping it up to date. We'll be able to look at what we said we're going to do, what we did, what we didn't do, and have a chance to adjust it, set some adjust the goals for the future and give ourselves a report card and move along. So we'll be doing that probably in the upcoming winter, but I just wanted to kind of prepare both the community and you guys for that.
That's great. I wanted to mention when we were speaking about Commissioner David Leeds that I had been in Kent Hall and I thought he did such a fine job. And Karina, I think you assisted as well with the hanging of the art. So Councilmember Rule, we have, in addition to the public art work, the sculptural work out in our community, we also have a largely two-dimensional, fairly large city collection. Many of those works are here, and some are in Kent Hall. So this is simply a commendation to David for the good job of installing those works in City Hall. I just want to do that shout out.
Thank you. So that'll be our strategic planning. Budgeting is being worked out, through the council process. I'm very encouraged from what the mayor reported to me about the importance of arts in our plan, since we're an arts town as well. That's about it. I'm going to move on to our future agenda items.
I have one.
We have inviting the 2024 recipients to present at June 19th. Yes, Commissioner Steiner, you have one?
And I have one as well, which I have raised before. And that relates to the Film Society. So Section 4-16107 of the Municipal Code provides the powers and duties of this commission. Those include A, advising the council on all matters pertaining to the arts in this community, and B, making recommendations to the council concerning the resources and needs of the community on the subject of the arts, and et cetera, et cetera. There are others as well. But I want to focus on that subsection B because the Film Society expressly asked us to do what we could to encourage the city to recognize the Film Society as a legacy organization, the same as the music festival. And so I asked last time that be on the agenda, and it's not on the agenda. I would like to ask again that it be on the agenda, and I would like us to entertain whether to request the city council to add this as a legacy, to add the Film Society as a legacy organization.
Well, what I'll do is I'll talk to staff and have a staff presentation on what are the, because I understand we're in transition on Libby Bowl and the way it's booked and how far out in advance it's booked, and this is an arts organization that's asking for a long-term type thing. So I can appreciate it. It's going to have some, you guys are going to have some opinions on that. So I'm going to ask you this week when we review the thing for maybe you to talk to us about that and see if that, if it makes sense to have an agenda item to discuss with the Arts Commission there.
Smitty, I'm sorry, but with all due respect, and because I've asked for this before, I don't think a conversation between you and as chair and staff is what I am asking for. What I'm asking for is expressly what the Film Society requested of us, and that is to address the matter, which I think we should do in public in an Arts Commission meeting. And I'm going to request again that it be placed on the agenda.
Well, we'll need to have staff.
Of course, staff will have to be there.
They'll need to be prepared to answer questions.
Of course.
Yes, Karina.
If I may, one of the city council goals and tactics, 3H, is to create criteria for legacy organizations for Libby Bowl to expand programming of performing arts at Libby Bowl. I don't know if this passed the other night, but I would definitely want the Arts Commission to be part of this conversation with the City Council in establishing the criteria for this. So if you could dovetail that into whatever conversations you're having.
That's a good agenda item too.
Yes.
Again, I don't want this to be conversations, and you know,
Sure.
I mean, I
But maybe
seldom
maybe
invoke the
this can
Brown
just
Act
be
because I
handled.
think we over-enforce the Brown Act, but nevertheless, it is my view that we have been asked something. The statute clearly identifies our role with respect to requests from arts organizations, and I am asking
Fair
again
enough.
at this meeting
Fair
for
enough.
this to be on the agenda.
Let's put a future agenda item for the next meeting to have a administrative report on the potential of, and largely, I don't want this to be a special case just for a particular thing, even though it is, and I'm not embarrassed about that, but I want to understand the use of Libby Bowl for the non-sort of economic community events, and what is the process there? Because when we talk to members in the community, yeah, I'm frustrated because I feel like I'm talking in circles and nothing's getting done. You're right.
Well, you are sharing my frustration because I'm frustrated that I have requested this and we are not addressing it, but it seems straightforward to me. The Film Society has certain, well, anyway, I don't need to repeat myself because I said it in the last meeting. So I am grateful to you for placing this on the agenda, and we can have the discussion then.
My pleasure. Thanks for the push. Staff liaison report is next.
The only thing I had to report at this time is we welcome Bridget Marr as the new staff liaison, and welcome.
Thank you.
And if you have any comments you'd like to make, more than welcome to. But
Well, I made them earlier. I'm good.
perfect. Nothing from staff at this time.
Okay. Any commissioner comments? Karina?
I did have the opportunity to speak at the city council meeting the other night, and I did urge them to schedule that joint session. So still really hoping that.
We have some news on that.
If I may, I believe that the joint sessions were noticed, or at least we sent some information regarding that. I believe tentatively it is scheduled for third quarter of this year.
I understand that. Looking forward to the date. Looking forward to the date. So that'll be good.
As long as I get my money for the sculptures, I'm fine.
And-
Karina, comments? Yes.
And I do have a lot of comments. You know, just, I shouldn't, but I would like to know that with the new contract with Libby Bowl, that all of our free not-for-profit events at Libby Bowl are going to be going forward without any problem. That was part of the promise, right? So I just want to make sure that those people, like the Film Society, et cetera, are not feeling threatened that they're not going to have their space anymore. The last couple of weekends, I've had the opportunity, as I'm sure you both have, to witness some of our grants in motion. Dance Ojai was a spectacular event. The day stage was packed, so many people in the audience and families, and maybe 50 vendors, and just such a lively event, and so many different talents of dances from Tahiti to India. We had jazz, classical Indian music. It was wonderful. So I was really impressed by that. And then last weekend was the TAF residency open studios, where I was able to tour the 8 different artists' work that they produced during their residency there. All of that was extremely impressive and gratifying, and we should feel very good about the work we're doing, and I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Karina.
Thank you.
Comments?
And then I would just add on that, in the Carolyn Glass O'Bally Foundation, another grantee is having an upcoming fundraiser. I think not this coming weekend, which is the Playwrights Conference, but another. I just wanted to make one comment in Commissioner Pam Grau's absence. So I had watched the Historic Preservation Commission and understand that Gina Hatton, the chair, had urged that something happen with this space, these chambers. We are ever so fortunate to have a city hall, which is an historic house. It's an absolutely beautiful space, but unfortunately, our chambers sort of look like a man cave out of 1963 with these chairs that we can like barely sit on. And so Pam was informed that there is a subcommittee that's been established, and she will be joining that subcommittee on behalf of the Arts Commission, and bringing in others who may have the experience, expertise, and wherewithal to make certain contributions, both physical as well as intellectual, to turn this space into a space that's worthy of this beautiful historic building.
Thank you. And in my comments, I think tonight I'll mention a couple other grants and work, thanks to the, what I want to say to the commission is thank you for your hard work on the grants, and because the grants not just is money out there, but it's out there in a different way. It's out there in a way that people are excited. They're talking about it. They're saying thank you. That's very different than how it had been in the past, when it just seemed like a small amount of money and people were complaining if it's political or that sort of thing. But it really is positive, and I'm encouraging everyone to apply again and ask for more and see if we can't get more. This weekend is remember the Ojai Community Chorus. They're doing their summer show, and the grant we gave them enabled them to have a live band to accompany it. I recuse myself because I'm regularly their sound man, so I've been at their rehearsals this week, and it's a wonderful thing. They're marrying Shakespeare and the play with music and choral pieces, and so it's really a delightful thing at the United Methodist Church this weekend. It's 2 matinees at 3 p.m. Saturday, and then 3 p.m. on Sunday as well. And on a side sort of, I wanted to mention, we've been connecting with the county more and learning about grant opportunities. My little music academy applied for a grant in the name of this Hobbs, the Hobbs Smith house that this is. The Smith, Emily, I forgot, she went to, she has her own foundation that we just got a grant from. I'm going to tell you about it, that we applied for. And she went to Nordhoff in 1932. She graduated from Nordhoff, and then she was a professional piano player, went on to Hawaii, and she wanted to celebrate music and the arts that were of a non-Western sort, and that was sort of her legacy too. So we got a little grant to provide some chumash and ranchera music. That's the norteño music of the Spain that was California at the time, as a preservation thing to bring to the public schools in the valley in the fall too. So I just want to let's love all the grants and support the grants and help our artists, find these other opportunities. We applied for like 10 grants and finally got this little one, and I thank the Smith ghosts, for that as well. So with that, I wanted to invite Councilmember Rule forward if you'd like to. Thank you for your presence.
Yes, we appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Let's see, you guys are doing a fabulous job, and I am honored to be here. I did want to I know that, Corinne, you were at our council meeting, but that our third goal is arts, culture, and recreation funding, and we're discussing potentially putting aside a portion of the TOT tax in order to more fully fund, the arts and recreation and culture. And it seems that there's strong support for that. I think the idea also, when we do meet, and we are scheduled for it, I don't have the exact date, but we are doing one commission a quarter, I think, or one every 2 months. And we want to give more time than just an hour before a regular meeting, which is why it's not sort of more frequent than that, because we have other special meetings and that are just necessary, not that this isn't. So yeah, I wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit about that. Yes, we'd like to redo this room. Yes, we do have a subcommittee to do that, and it will be wonderful to have Pamela on it, no doubt. We were very pleased with what David Leeds did in Kent Hall. He certainly brightened it up. We do have one request at some point that somebody paint a mural on our closet doors that sit behind us. Okay, we can do that.
You would know more about it, but I would be violating the Brown Act.
Okay, yeah, please don't do that, because then I'd have to report you. You know me, and it would be just like uncomfortable. Yeah, good. We also, I had proposed, a sort of study on the creative economy of Ojai and whether or not it lives under, economic diversification or it lives under enrichment. I think that there was also unanimous sort of support. Well, I don't know if it was unanimous. It was strong enough to move it on to the next stage, because I think that's very, very important. It is, as you have mentioned, Chair, very obvious that that is an economic driver, or could be, in our town, if we were to look at it in that way. So I'm hoping that we will. Another thing that I have been, and you and I talked about this a bit, is having some sort of broad umbrella over nature and the ways in which everything that we do can play into and play with nature as a general respect. And you and I spoke about that, and so the Chumash and the Native American or the First Peoples' respect for nature, and the deep ingrained source of inspiration and spiritual guidance that gives. So I'm looking for ways to kind of spread that out, and looking certainly to the arts, and likewise the arts should be integral to everything that we do. So if indeed we talk about, which I have talked about, having a dog park walkable in the town of Ojai, that looks wonderful. And it looks like it's been designed purposely with an ethos around what a dog park, or what, we want to communicate to people about our love of animals, or whatever it happens to be. But in any way, I'm thinking about that, that the arts should be every part of everything that we do, that when you look at something, it speaks to you, intrinsic about what you are doing, and also intrinsic to the creativity that is part and parcel of what inspires us. So I'm still sort of trying to form that as we move forward with the goals and figure out where these things actually sit. So if this sits in some of our tactics around respect of nature and inclusion of animals and flora and fauna, right, in a relationship, that we are in relationship with that. That's goal number 9, I think, is relationships and communication. Well, how does this work with that? How do our relationships with all of these things work with art? Because I think it's fundamental. So that is what I'm grappling with at the moment. Specifically, like I said, I have listened to your concerns. I do think that, and I did want to point this out, is that I don't know what the criteria for a legacy performer is. And I think that because it's part of a goal of ours, nobody knows. So it will be something, you're certainly free to bring it to the council, but then the council will say, yeah, absolutely, we love the Film Society, we fund them, we love them, but we don't really know how legacy, organizations are anointed with that. So that's why it's on our list as well. So, I don't see any issue with the Film Society falling in that. And I do agree with you that you have a charge, as is written in the code, and what you feel should come to us should come to us. So, but I do appreciate also knowing that we may not be sure what the criteria is. So we will look into that. So don't hope that it's going to be a, yeah, it could be a yes if it fits the criteria. I don't know. So, but I understand your concern, and I'm happy to work with doing that. I'm trying to think if I have anything else. I think I've spoken quite enough. Let's see. I jotted some down on the goals, some things that I thought were specific to the arts. I mean, obviously, any one of these goals, can fit in with arts, right? Whether it's signage, like we want to do a lending library for fire hardening tools, right? So it would be wonderful if there were some kind of signage, that was really applicable to that, whether it was a how-to or whether it was just something that said, you can do this too, come on. But it's those kinds of things. Everything could, but I don't want to overwhelm you, for sure. I know you're busy and I know your artists are busy, but it's just a way to integrate more fully into the bureaucracy as well as into the larger community. I think it would benefit everybody, not the bureaucracy, but city council and city work, city staff work. And I think that that's really all I have. I will find out, or James can find out, or Bridget can find out the exact month that you guys are scheduled for our joint meeting. They have been scheduled. So I'm open to any questions that you might have or any unfinished business.
Well, I guess I don't want this to turn into a question and answer thing. I've been advised that shouldn't happen, but I just wanted to thank you for your comments and tell you that we serve the council, so we're here for you. All right, our mantra is, I forgot that question, but art is the answer. Art can be a unifying thing. It can bring things together. There could be a solution for some of the things you're looking at that. Yeah. This wonderful commission has to offer. By definition, art is creative, so it isn't already here because it's right. Making something new. So, so thank you for having us and respecting the arts and giving it the attention in your planning that you are this year.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and I think we can all speak. So first I would like to thank you.
Go ahead.
First, I would like to thank you for being here. We have not had City Council presence at every meeting, so truly we appreciate that. And then I'd also like to thank you for such a meaty presentation. I think, and I'll just take it from the top. Thank you for the TOT. I think it's the right answer, and I think driving that forward, I've looked at statutes of some other jurisdictions of about our size where the TOT goes directly to the arts. So I'm delighted to hear this. It's an answer to my nightly prayers, and whatever I can do and this commission can do to help you move that forward, I think we're on board. On the mural, there's a strong point of view of many artists that paintings on utility boxes, on doors, on sort of utilitarian items, on electrical boxes, is in fact insulting to artists. And so the beauty of what Commissioner Leeds has done is to really take real recognized work within our collection and put it in that exact place. And so speaking for myself, I would urge you not to go through that mural door.
I'm down with that. I mean, either way.
Yeah.
But thank you.
I know. I just thought that was an important thing to say.
We're not going to have discussions on this.
Yeah, it's a philosophy of art, right, or a philosophy of creation.
Right.
Yes.
And then finally, your point about legacy, that's precisely why we want to know as well, so we can all kind of figure it out together and figure it out in public sessions, so
agreed.
We all know. So again, thank you so much.
For sure. My pleasure.
All right. Thank you, Council.
Yes.
Person.
Are we good? Or
do you have something?
Yes.
Okay. What do you have?
Thank you. Thank you, Leslie. I wanted to tell you that one of the 2024 grantee recipients was the Crew, which is the Green Valley Project as well. And they, last year, their grant proposal, and I wasn't here for that grant cycle, but what I have gleaned is it was a project that involved the youth, and they made signs.
Right.
And it was environmental activism. It displayed their talents and their creativity. And I'm just saying, you just were asking for it, and I think we know where to go for that.
Yeah,
so
that's
just
a
keep
great
that
suggestion. Yeah,
in mind for
I will.
sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
and if you're here on the June 19th meeting, I think somebody from the crew will actually be presenting how that all went for them last year.
Yeah, that's great. And we are, I'm sort of in dialogue with the crew to the extent that, I know individual members, but I had not remembered that was what they were charged with. And, of course, the Taft Gardens and their art and nature, sort of synthesis is sort of a model, I think, for what is possible if we do, in fact, have this umbrella of connection with, human, land, and sort of animals, which may come to fruition with the council or may not, but I would like it to. Anyway, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you.
All right. And with this, this meeting is adjourned until our regular meeting on Juneteenth.